Once again, we return back to Silent Hill for a brief summary of Book of Memories, usually referred to as a diary, but as I'm sure we all know by now, Silent Hill says fuck logic and reasoning because we're complex and edgy. Designed as a dungeon crawler rather than a survival horror, Book of Memories is more akin to Diablo, but just so Diablo 3. Your player character is semi-customizable and changeable to represent the player. All their creative options are limited to social classes and stereotypes, so unless you masturbate incessantly to Sims porn, your parents' weekly income could pay for a trip to the Bahamas and you're set to marry your third cousin, you make Halloween an everyday occasion, practice witchcraft, and have the audacity to question why no one understands you, or you just love the smell of jockstraps almost as much as your father's verbal abuse because you didn't make first string, then you're not going to be able to relate to any of the character models. Now, if you thought uncomfortable camera angles and dark hallways were terrifying, you'll be pleasantly surprised to find out how dark and unsettling this game gets. Not metaphorically though, the screen is just impossible to see. The game begins with our player character receiving a package from a familiar face, Howard Blackwood. It seems they've received a book for their birthday. Oh, happy birthday. Thanks. How old are you? Who knows? It seems the book contains every memory the player character has ever had. Now let's stop here because I have a lot of questions. Does this book contain memories at the start of coherent thought, or if I flip to the beginning will I find some goo goo gaga? How explicit and detailed are those memories? Is this a brief summary of someone's day, or if they previously masturbated, did the book capture every fap or flick of the bean? I mean, honestly, even for a young adult, that book would have to be incredibly thick and detailed to capture their entire life. Actually, those are my only questions. Let's move on. After reading through parts of the book, the player character decides to make some last-minute edits, curious if they can change the past. Although, unless their goal was to rip off the entire plot to the butterfly effect, it makes no sense that the journal could change the past. It would make much more sense if it just altered how our protagonist remembers the past, such as, "Hey, so last night I hooked up with Morgan." No, you didn't. You hooked up with Steve. But Steve's a guy. So is Morgan. They're both guys. Oh yeah. Or, "Hey, you remember that time when I was 5 and I fell off that tree and got a concussion?" No, but that's to be expected because I don't know or love you. Maybe it was with my mother. I am your mother. Anyways, you will constantly rewrite your past to change various events in the present, either for the better or worse, for yourself or the people around you. You know, just really basic butterfly effect. Ashton would probably explain it better than I could. Based on your choices throughout the game, your karma and outcomes will change with your decisions. Unlike Reddit, where everything you do results in negative karma because everyone hates everyone on there. Every night you will fall asleep and wake up in a dungeon-style dream world based around Silent Hill's Otherworld, and fight your way to different bosses, based around the characters within the game, all the while collecting notes and changing outcomes. The people's lives you will affect while influencing your own is as follows. Derek Copeland, a co-worker at your dead-end retail job who has earned a promotion you were competing for. Unrelatable for anyone currently unemployed, which is common for RPG players. Katie or Matthew Collins, a love interest for the protagonist that only works for a handful of sexualities, so if you're gay, also unrelatable. Graham Reynolds, a family friend and police officer, and if you're anything like me with no friends, especially not police officers, well, you know where I'm going with this. Trent or Ashley Baker, a spurned partner of your current love interest. Jack Merrick, a convicted felon and antagonist that wants control of your book, although he has his own, and apart from being a stereotypical bad guy to root against, he serves no purpose to thicken or further the plot. Shannon, your younger sister. Also, females aren't real, and she couldn't possibly exist, therefore, completely unrelatable. Last but not least, yourself. This isn't entirely important, but it does finish out the game, and if I failed to mention it, I would be beyond disappointed with myself and inevitably cry myself to sleep. Hopefully my brief history wasn't a complete disappointment, especially for the ones who loved the installment, including someone who has been recommending the game for quite a while. Shoutouts to you, Shinra. Thank you so much for the suggestion, and I'm happy to cover requests. Based on your choices, you will be greeted with one of 6 endings, and I won't spoil them. But if this is something you would enjoy, I do recommend you try it for yourself. Until next time, I will be covering part 2 of Resident Evil 2. I'm the 90s Router, and if you did enjoy, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, and comment, and also include your opinions or suggestions, good or bad. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time for Resident Evil 2, part 2.